Sir, would it help you if I shed a tear? I swear it's the first time since this time last year. My spine is a tingle and my throat is all dry as I stand to attention for all those that died. I watch the flag dancing halfway down the pole. That damn bugle player sends chills to my soul. I feel the pride and the sorrow. There's nothing the same as standing to attention on Anzac Day. So, sir, on behalf of the young and the free, will you take a message when you finally do leave? To your mates that are lying from Tobruk to the Somme, the legend of your bravery will always live on. I've welcomed Olympians back to our shores. I've cheered baggy green caps and watched Wallabies score. But when I watch you marching, sir, in that parade, I know these are the memories that never will fade. So, sir, on behalf of the young and the free, will you take a message when you finally do leave? It's the least we can do, sir, to repay the debt. We'll always remember you, lest we forget.
Yes, we will remember them on the most important day, I think the most important holiday we have in Australia. I'm Richard Friedman, good morning and welcome to Racing Retro. The horse, very much a part of the Anzac tradition, and we're going to have a look at some great horse racing from around the country and New Zealand today.
Betting exchanges, make no mistake, clearly pose a threat to the well-being of world's racing clubs and racing, and in my opinion, especially to the integrity of our sport.
The integrity of thoroughbred racing in the United Kingdom has been rocked in recent months by a series of shady betting practices. Newspaper headline writers feasted on descriptive words like scams, scandals, corruption, race fixing and betting rorts. The pomp and pageantry of racing in the United Kingdom has been soiled seriously by sensational allegations of crooked betting deals. In stark contrast to the accepted betting practice of backing a horse to win, betting exchanges offer the opportunity of backing horses to lose. Respected racing men in the UK have called for betting exchanges to be banned because it attacked the integrity of racing. The expose by British newspaper News of the World on top jockey Kieran Fallon suggested an even more sinister side to betting exchanges. Fallon's horse, Ballinger Ridge, noticeably slowed just before the finishing post of a race at Lingfield, allowing another horse, Rye, to overhaul it on the line. Fallon had predicted the result before the race to the undercover reporter. The racing industry was rocked further only a few days later when a jumps jockey, Sean Fox, was banned by stewards on the allegation that he jumped off his horse. After his mount drifted alarmingly in betting before the race, Fox inexplicably fell from the saddle at the 9th fence of a steeplechase in South England. The significant questions raised by the Fallon and Fox follies prompted the British Horse Racing Board to call on the British government to intervene to help protect the integrity of racing. The board chief executive, Greg Nichols, in an outspoken outburst, said the advent of betting exchanges had left the sport more vulnerable than ever to malpractice. He said the recent events focused further attention on the new and very real threat to racing's integrity posed by betting exchanges.
Over 2,000 metres.
National Treasure being called upon by months now, and Domiel's gone to the outside, straightening it over the rise. Dara Lamara, a length and a half clear. Second, Thunder Rosa. National Treasure under the stick, and now Mrs. Tendulkar. Bowman weaving a passage near the inside, switches around Dara Lamara. National Treasure warming up, got to Dara Lamara, and between them Mrs. Tendulkar. National Treasure, Mrs. Tendulkar. National Treasure holds Mrs. Tendulkar, and National Treasure from Mrs. Tendulkar or Dara Lamara Lamara close fourth, Thunder Rosa with Domi.
Dara Lamara there set a strong pace under Jimmy Cassidy, and National Treasure just sat on Dara Lamara's hammer. Chris Muntz there just sweating on the leader. Gay Waterhouse, it was first of a treble for her, and Mrs Tendulkar, well, she does what she always does. Gets back, runs on, looks like she wins next start, and then she doesn't.
She's a British short hair, mate. Big pussy. She's fairly kidding. I tell you, a bit of an excessive speed set there by Jimbo. I don't know why he had to go out so hard there. It really
no. Dara Malara's like that. She likes to just grind him into the ground. That's her go, I think.
I don't know about that. I reckon it would have had a bit more of a kick in it. I mean, there was, 10 to 12 lengths first to last there. Really only suited one horse, that one pace, a National Treasure. I mean, it was off the bit, 750 from home, and just kept whacking away. But yeah, Mrs Tendulkar, gee.
Look at her here. She's unbeatable here.
She said, look out, I'm going to win this, so I'd better dig the old toes in right about now.
Yeah. See, now they all stayed, those two, Dara Lamara and Mrs Tendulkar, were against the fence. Now, later on in the day, they all came away from the fence. You can see how far out the false rail is there at Randwick, a long way out, and they were heading even wider later on in the day.
I don't even necessarily know why they had to go that wide. I mean, the whole field from the last 2 or 3 races all just went bush, As soon as Chris Muntz said it, said that, that was the place to be. I don't think it was necessarily that bad. I
think it was the place to be.
So do I.
Away from that fence. No wonder you weren't much of a job.
Second chance didn't exist when I was a rider. They didn't have false rails. They didn't have anything like that. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Track bias is totally different to what it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Keith, you've been around for 100 years. What do you think about track bias?
I really don't know why they raced at Randwick yesterday. I mean, the track was took a pounding over its long carnival, and all of a sudden...
And they got out of it too.
All of a sudden it's over, and they back up again, and they're racing again there tomorrow, aren't they?
Well, yes. Yeah, but see, it was either that or the Kenzo track. That was the problem.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
the Kensington track, they've just done a little bit of turf laying. Otherwise, we would be racing on the Kensington track.
It was a second chance on the track for National Treasure anyway, because she went to Darley Stud and missed out on getting in foal. She's a 5-year-old Zabeel mare, so she's back racing well. She's going to run in the Winter Cup before she goes up north for the Prime Minister's Cup.
Pity a few others weren't in foal.
The Seppelts Wines was for 3-year-olds fillies. That's the race over 1,200 metres we're going to take you to now. Watch for a Martique, the favourite, the very well-bred Martique. Danehill Champagne, trained by Gay Waterhouse.
On the inside, and then Soak Up the Sun, and Nagoya's made up many lengths right along the rails. Martique shaken along down to the 200 marker. She's a length and a half. Nagoya, Sansadi, and then Bold Demand, Bit of Knowledge, and Soak Up the Sun's dropped off. Martique still shows the way. Nagoya in second. Posse is battling on well. Muntz shakes up Martique, flying home Pentelican, but Martique will win it. Martique has beaten Pentelican. Third was Nagoya, and fourth Bold Demand, followed by Bit of Knowledge.
Well, I think there was a bit of luck involved there for Gay's third leg of a treble, and Chris Muntz as well. Martique probably should have been beaten by Pentelicon, who's in the pink on the extreme outside, the grey horse. And there was an adjourned inquiry into the running of Pentelicon, ridden by Jim Cassidy there. Stewards inquiring as to whether he gave the horse every chance. He said he was innocent. He said he just made a mistake. But they also interviewed the owner, Nick Moratis. But I think it should have won the race, don't you think, Michael?
I'd be very disappointed if I had my money on it with that ride. He'd get lost on a merry-go-round, that bloke. Fair dinkum. That was just disgrace, that. I mean, how could you justify that? How could you justify that in a field of...
He said he made a mistake.
In a field of 8 or 9, he sat at the rear 3 wide. He was, hang on a minute, he was 2.5 lengths behind Larry Cassidy on Roger's horse when they straightened up, and he's going to go back in behind horses. You guys are just waffling on about the outside of the track being the best. Why is he going back in between runners?
Well, he said he made a mistake.
Where's the mistake?
He went back in. He should have come out.
That's incompetence. I mean, you can't be serious.
Should have won, but look,
are you defending it too?
Look, he went inside.
What for? Why?
Well, he probably thought the other horse was dropping off. Look at this.
But why would he
go nowhere? Soak Up the Sun.
Why wouldn't he go to the outside?
Well, he probably would have if he could have it over again.
You know, everyone's going best part of the track, best part of the track, best part of the track. He's going in between walking horses.
Well, the stewards are going to inquire into it. They've continued the inquiry. I don't know where this is all heading, but Martique, a very, very well-bred youngster by Danehill out of Champagne, would have been an expensive yearling. And, well, there might be a few more races in it.
Look, I think it's a really, really nice filly, if she can stay. And she's got the stout pedigree to say that she can stay. She was first up yesterday. She looked underdone. She trialled brilliantly with blinkers on, and she didn't race in blinkers yesterday. Look, it may have looked a common win, but I think she's pretty smart.
OK. Well,
He didn't pressure the horse that
No,
much. Like
he
was
didn't-
only
he
just-
didn't hurt her,
He's
did he?
doing enough to win the race. I mean, if something... Sorry.
I'm going to move on.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Okay.
Hey, is there an earthquake around here, Ronnie? There's a bit of Jimmy Link going on here.
Not mine. Now, race 7 was the Maytag handicap for 3-year-olds. Viking Tour leads this. He was favourite, and he's been a little bit expensive for punters, Viking Tour.
And Regal Funners last. They enter the stretch, and the leader is Viking Tour. Han Suyin sitting a length away second, and then Sam Sung a Song, who's coming right down the outside with a good run at the 200 marker. Viking Tour. Chris Reith has had to go for the whip because on the outside Sam Sung a Song descended. Han Suyin can't match Sam Sung a Song, and away goes Sam Sung a Song, racing in great fettle, and Sam Sung a Song easily from Han Suyin and Viking Tour. Then Pontugard Sadler's Song followed in by Hastam.
Sam Sung a Song won a good race over the Autumn Carnival at Randwick and then backed it up again. Coming from the rear there, it looks like he's off to Brisbane now to go to the Queensland Guineas. Han Suyin and Viking Tour battled away, but I think this horse was basically in a class of his own when he peeled to the outside. Ronnie?
Yeah, look, Gerald Ryan's got this horse's thinking right now. He used to get back and pull his head off in races. He's fiddled around with the bits and gear on him, and now that he's settling at the back of the field, he's certainly fulfilling the promise he's always shown. This second filly's a nice filly, Han Suyin. She's closely related to that Martique that won earlier out of a Champagne family. Only having its second start, there's a lot of merit in that performance. Viking Tour has been costly, but
He
look,
races too hard, doesn't he?
yeah,
Over races
all
the
honours
time.
with the winner here. He's stretching out like a nice horse now.
He's a good trainer, that Gerald Ryan. You hear him in interviews and that. He's always thinking about things to do with these horses, to get them to settle, to get them to change their mental attitude. He's a very smart man.
Gerald Ryan will offer the ride again to Brad Pengilly in the Guineas in Queensland. He's not a glamour jockey, is he? But he gets the job done.
He's riding well. Geez, riding well.
Okay, the Schweppes 1400, that was race 8 at Randwick, and it's a very competitive race. As we get to the corner here, there's a line of about 5.
And Spinning Con, first up the rise, taken on in earnest by Sandy River, Magic Marvo, and Inspire and Oscar Warrior putting in a claim. They reached the 220, Sandy River under the whip, beat off Spinning Con, but Inspire got to Sandy River with Magic Marvo. It's Inspire just the leader from Magic Marvo, and then Sandy River, and Gabfest heads the others. Inspire still in front, Magic Marvo making a bit. Inspire from Magic Marvo, Sandy River and Gabfest right on their heels. Verb and Tacker, Spinning Con.
It's having a very good run, Clary Connors, at the moment. It's been a bit late for the carnival, but it's a good run nonetheless. Inspire, I find him very hard to catch, Michael.
Oh, yes, he's... But, well, having said that, his trainer did say that he trialled really well, and he did expect him to race well. When he does get all favours, he can put it together. Verb and Takas, they were a long way back, and they got home quite well down the outside in the cerise colours there as Takas. The Sandy River pretty much had every chance, Ronnie. It was up there on the speed. One thing, Spinning Con may be perceived to be a bit of a weak effort there, but it is a horse that does take 3 or 4 runs, so don't dismiss it. It was first up there on Saturday.
Look, this was a very, very slowly run race, and that went against Sandy River. He's a really nice horse, this Sandy River. I want to see him in a fast run mile and see what we've got with him. But on pace race, Inspire always in the right position. Takas was probably the best run in the race because he was back last when they were walking up front, and he got to the line nicely.
I think it's
And
a
Ronnie,
good... Oh.
I'm so sorry, but I was just going to tell Ronnie that he'll see Sandy River in a mile in the Guineas in Queensland when he goes there with his stablemate Sam Sung a Song.
He'll be a dark horse too.
I was just going to say, Ronnie, this is a good point you made about Sandy River. It normally likes to settle around about 3 or 4 lengths back off the speed with it, and because of the slow pace there, he was up outside the lead.
Yeah,
Totally
just didn't
unsuited.
sprint.
Yeah, exactly.
That was Randwick yesterday. Now, up next, we're going to show you some vision of Farlap's first win. This was 75 years ago when Farlap first won a race. There's the picture of it. And when Farlap won this race 75 years ago, the jockey, Jack Baker, came back to his owner, Harry Telford, and said, he might go all right, this horse. He said, but I don't think he'll stay. So it just shows what good jockeys they are. And then Billy Cook, who rode the second horse, Valoose, he said after the race that he was a certainty beaten and that horse had never beat Valoose again.
Some jockeys say some funny things. I remember a jockey coming in at Warwick Farm one day and saying to Connections, I think this horse wants 1400. The connection says that was 1400.
That wasn't you, Ronnie.
No.
What about Darren Beedman? I'll tell this one against Darren. He rode Scalacci in a maiden up at Kyneton one time. It was a 1,200 metre maiden when we were making the choice whether we took him back to 1,000 metres in the city or went to 1,400. And Darren said, I don't think Scalacci's a real 1,000-metre horse. I think he held 4 records after that at 1,000 metres. So, you know, jockeys can make mistakes. Anyway, let's go to a commercial break. And after the commercial break, we'll bring you to New Zealand and Doomben and a whole lot more on Racing Retro.
Over near the inside rails, going easily, but Pike's not going to take any risks. He's riding him out. The others are scrambling for second and third. No danger now. Here's the post, and Pike eases him. Why, it's like he's taking candy from a baby. It's all over. Farlap wins.
Remains in Alfred